Hi, David Barron here with the University of Hypnotism. Now, I've also written on mind control under the name of Dantalian Jones. And I also talk about it in a lot of different contexts, including hypnosis, which I'm most skilled at. An interesting thing happens when you write a lot about hypnosis and mind control, and that is you get people who are concerned about it contacting you. Well, in fact, that's what happened. I got a call from a person who asked me about a cult that was called Core. Now, I had not heard about it, and he sent me some information on it, and it is very interesting. I'm going to talk about this. It's a hypnosis indoctrination process that is used by Core. Just so you understand what Core is, it is not a typical cult with religious means. It is actually for bondage and submission and domination and submission type of processes. So it's very fetish oriented. And it does have some very strong cult implications. First of all, it does have a very thorough indoctrination process. And please understand, because I am explaining this does not mean I approve of it in any sort of way. I do want to talk about some aspects of it that are very effective, that make it very thorough, and some conditions in which it would apply or it would not apply for some people. Okay, so here is the story. I was contacted by someone who had experience with two people who were involved with Core. One of them got involved in the various bondage, dominance, submission, fetish play that took place, and then extracted herself from it. The other person was very threatened because apparently there were several people who were involved with Core who were trying to enlist her, and so she immediately recoiled and locked herself in her office for a couple of days trying to protect herself from this. I do not think, first of all, Core is that dangerous, but what I'm going to do is I am going to provide for you a link below about how you can hear the indoctrination process, but I also want to play parts of it for you, and I want to describe for you what it does, why it works, and the conditions that it would not work. First of all, if the very first listening of what's called the core activation process, it's very clear that it is designed for total submission. Now, it does ask for consent. So just by listening to it, in spite of what it says, if you don't consent to it, nothing is going to happen. It also makes an assumption that I think is very interesting. It makes an assumption that the mind is like a computer. I will tell you, it is not like a computer. It's something all its own. It assumes that the listener understands computers and treats every aspect of the mind as though it were a computer. In fact, the audio hypnosis process is referred to as a file, and there are computer commands in there like activate, delete, access, remove, that are used throughout it that make it very clear that it assumes that the mind is like a computer. So what I want to do is I'm going to play just the first couple of minutes of it for you. I want you to listen to it and get your BS meter on right away. Just because it says that this is, by listening to this, it is permanent. It's not. In fact, it may not even have any effect. So bring your critical thinking cap on and listen to it. So I've got it recorded here on my phone, and it begins.
Removes the listener's core.
Okay, back.
Please note that complying with...
We'll start now.
Welcome back. This file removes the listener's core. Please note that complying with the following commands results in permanent changes. If you have come this far, you are already prepared to begin. Do you want to be hypnotized? Do you want to be a slave to core? Do you want to have your core extracted? Proceed. Sit or lay back. Get comfortable. Take a deep breath. Hold to the mental count of 3, 2, 1. Eyes closed all the way down.
Now there it asked for consent. And it asked that it assumed you understood what was going on. What happens next is the induction, which is what you're listening to right now. We'll do from there.
That's right. Feel emptiness filtering down from the top of your head to the ends of your toes. Sleep. In a moment, you will open and close your eyes. When your eyes close, you will go twice as deep into trance as you are now. Open your eyes. Close your eyes. Good.
This is a fractionation process typically
In a moment,
used in hypnosis.
you will open and close your eyes. When your eyes close, you will go 10 times as deep into trance as you are now. Open your eyes. Close your eyes. Good. In a moment, you will open and close your eyes. When your eyes close, you will go as deep into trance as you can today. Open your eyes. Close your eyes. Very good. Sleep. 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 End thought. End awareness. End consciousness.
Now that's interesting, that part. In thought and awareness and consciousness. That is a point where the whole critical factor, the conscious mind, is stepped aside, and they are speaking directly to the subconscious mind. They're asking you, don't pay attention to anything that I say or even remember it. Your awareness is not there. Simply follow the instructions from this point forward.
Access heart. Remove core. Delete. Access mind. Remove core. Delete. Access spirit. Remove core. Delete. Access soul. Remove core. Delete. Sleep. All the way down.
Now, that's as much as I'm going to play for you. Everything that follows from there is simply continuously repeating affirmations. All is core and core is all. I am a slave to core. Blah, 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 blah. So, what I want to point out in a couple things is explaining it that for this to work, there are several things that have to take place. First of all, you initially have to have an inclination toward submission. And there are people out there who simply want to serve, who want to, they even see it as a fetish, where they want to remove their personal being, their awareness, and become part of someone else's will. So those people are out there, though they are a minority. In addition, you have to assume that the instructions that are given are understandable and irreversible. That's the assumption you have to start with. You begin with that, you get an agreement, and then that process of stopping thought, stopping awareness, stopping the mind goes further. Now, I actually sort of went through this process to get the feeling of it, which I do a lot when I'm sort of exploring hypnosis protocols. This feeling of stopping the awareness, of taking the mind, finding the core and deleting it, taking the emotions, finding the core and deleting it, it becomes a lightening experience for some people. It becomes a feeling of weightlessness and something that they start to enjoy. Does it affect everybody? No, it does not. Because of the nature of this, I don't take it entirely very seriously as a threat. In fact, if you're approached by anyone who talks about joining the core or becoming a part of core or having your core extracted, just know that they're full of BS. And they're playing their own little game somewhere off to the side. It is not something that I think should be considered a threat unless you've got people who are doing very weird things. Now, there are other processes that go beyond this first one. And in fact, some of those other processes are designed to create an entire new identity, one that strips away everything that is prior to you and becomes what's called a core identity. And of course, that is classic cult indoctrination processes, where you think only of one thing. This is where you become aware of, or the person who is involved in the cult is told by their behavior, their actions, their thoughts, and by the information that they take in. Be aware of that. And as pleasing as the experience may be in some cases, always create a context where you can step out of it and look at it rationally. The person who I spoke with, they talked of someone who got involved in it, went through all the sexual submission stuff, realized this could be somewhat dangerous, and then stepped away from it. And I'm sure they're safe from this point forward once they can look at this with some objectivity. So I'd be happy to comment more on this if you have any questions. It's an interesting topic, and again, don't think because I understand it, because I even explain why it is so effective, that I approve of it. This is something that people do in strange little corners of their world. So just take it at that. If you have any questions, post them below. You can email me, however you want to do it. I appreciate it. Thank you much. Take care. Bye.